Hey everybody, Mark Salas here, Best Realty. I got Trey, he's an insurance specialist, and we want to talk to you about property inspections. Now, a buyer goes through a contract. They have a home inspection. Then you'll have your appraisal go out. Usually that's the way it's done. But there is another inspection that happens that a lot of people don't know about, and it's from your insurance company. So, when someone signs a policy, they're given the insurance company the right to go and take photos of the property, make sure that it's insurable, right? So what do you guys look for, or what do they look for when they come out?
Well, we look for a number of things, and usually we'll do this during the quoting phase.
Okay.
But the company can re-inspect down the road as well to make sure that the upkeep on the property is correct. What we're really looking for is that the homeowner is, keeping the same value and that they have pride of ownership. So we're looking for things that are risks like branches overhanging the house.
That's huge.
We're looking for how the roof, what kind of shape the roof is in prior to writing the policy, and what type of shingles. Going back to like the T-lock shingles,
Yep.
We may not do anything if you've got T-lock shingles. But really, we're looking for pride of ownership, that you're upkeeping the house, that it's not turned into a junkyard in some cases. I mean, there are different liability factors that go into, like if you have a handrail that is completely rotted. I mean, somebody can get injured on that. We're on the hook for those injuries through the liability. So
that makes sense.
We want to make
Okay.
sure that you've got handrails. We want to make sure that those handrails are in good shape. We want to make sure that that people are just taking care of the house, because in most cases there is something that the insurance company is going to have to deal with if you're not doing the upkeep on the house, because either you start getting leaks because the roof has not been taken care of, or if you haven't trimmed the especially
trees,
dead
yep.
branches, those falling down can damage the house. And like I said, stuff like handrails, or if you've installed a pool but don't have a fence around it, and neighborhood kids could get into it without having any anything barring them. Those are all liability issues for the insurance company, and all things that we're going to look at and determine whether we want to continue to insure that house or start insuring that house on the front end.
That makes sense. And I've had a couple of these experiences. I had the insurance policy. I don't know if it's the adjuster or someone goes out. I guess it's not an adjuster at that point in time because I don't have a claim, but they're doing the inspection, and they saw some branches that were overhanging the roof. They sent me a letter saying, hey, listen, you got to take care of that, or we're going to cancel your policy. I've had it where broken windows, so there's broken windows on the property. I get a letter from the insurance company saying, hey, listen, you got some broken windows and you do have some handrails that are missing here, and if you don't get that repaired, then we're going to terminate the contract. Now, these have all been in properties I was actually fixing up.
Right.
So I knew about it. It was on our list to get done.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you that you still will have, if you have insurance, you're going to have the insurance company go out there. They will take a look at it. So if you're buying a home and you're looking at a property and they have trees overhanging the roof, you might want to get that addressed. You might want to look at doing that sooner than later, because it could affect your insurance.
Correct. And a lot of times, especially if you're dealing with an agent, the agent may do an inspection during the quoting process, just to make sure that there's no issues that underwriters might have an issue with, and that can stop those letters from happening on the front end. Or the customer can be made aware that this is going to be an issue, underwriting will flag this, they probably will allow us to write the policy, but you're going to need to take care of this within this amount of time, because again, they're liability issues, or they're issues where the insurance company is on the hook for something that if we knew about it up front, it may not have been something that we would have written to begin with. Or we do the repair letters to give people a reasonable amount of time, usually, to try to get those things addressed so that they can continue that policy.
And this not only affects buyers, this affects sellers. So say I'm representing a buyer, I'm working with them, we see something that needs to be addressed, we can definitely ask for it. But as a seller, I have an experience where I bought a building and the building needed a roof to be redone. I couldn't get insurance on it. And on top of that, no lender would lend on that property either. It had to be a cash purchase for that reason. Now, that affected the price of the property, because of course we went back and said, hey, listen, you can only sell this property to a cash buyer, and it's a huge cost.
Yeah.
So, by the way, we're terminating the contract, and if you'd like to come back and negotiate some more, we can do that. So it is very important. You know, it's one of these things that people overlook insurance, but it's important. The other thing is time frame. In the contract, we have a time frame. We say, okay, we're going to have property insurance or insurance objection deadline of day X.
Yeah.
We usually give them, I want to say it's usually around 10 days. I got to look at my contracts.
Seems about right.
Yeah, usually about 10 days from the day we go under contract to the day we should know if we're going to be able to get insurance.
Yeah.
How long does that usually take you?
So,
I mean, well, you see someone, I know that's a loaded question, because
Yeah.
there's all kinds of things, but someone calls you, what should the proper timeline be for the insurance company?
yeah, I mean, usually if a customer calls me, I get the basic information from them. Unless there's crazy factors like the wildfire score, or, you know, no
Flood zone,
damage
something
on the
like that.
house, or, yeah, the flood zone issue, I can usually get a quote done within 20 to 30 minutes easily, and without the customer having to give me all the information about the house.
Okay.
El Paso County especially has great resources like the assessor's page, which will give me all the details about the house. I also look at the listings online and, you know, look at the pictures, make sure that there's nothing that would immediately just flag this as something I can't do.
So I always like to talk about the bad, because that's when people really click and it registers. This is why it's important. We had talked, I think it was last week or so, about a contract that was going on. They failed to get insurance quotes. Of course, when you get a home and you're getting it with a mortgage, your mortgage lender is going to want to see the insurance.
Yeah.
That particular client failed to contact you in a timely manner, and it delayed their closing, correct?
Yeah, it's one of those things that can delay a closing, because the house is really the collateral on that loan.
Yes.
So the mortgage company is going to require insurance if you're going to have a loan. And they're going to require certain things. It's got to be covered up to a certain amount of the loan amount usually. You can't have some won't let you have specific deductibles. You have to have, you know, under this or over this, that kind of thing. And it can also affect your ability to get the loan, because if the insurance is more costly than what they're estimating, then it could knock your debt to income ratio out of whack, and then you've got to figure out if you can still qualify for the loan at the amount that you were at, because all of those things get factored in with the escrow account, the taxes and the insurance. So
Yeah, so what Trey's saying, say we got a client that's approved up to $500,000, they're going after the property, they fall in love with it, we're through inspections, we're through everything, but they failed to get their insurance quote. All of a sudden the insurance quote comes back, this home is in trees, it's got a high fire score, therefore we went from $2,000 a year to $6,000 a year. This client was only approved up to $500,000.
right.
The mortgage lender only equated a $2,000 a year insurance payment or insurance quote, and then now we got a $6,000 a year. We got a mortgage problem at that point in time. We got a buyer who cannot afford the property. This could terminate a contract. It's very important that we talk with professionals whenever we go under contract. We should be calling people right away saying, hey, listen, here's the property I'm buying.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit about it. Tell me how much my quote's going to be. Do you see anything? And then with communication, we can get through anything usually.
Yeah.
But
Because
it's
the
important.
mortgage company is going to start pushing for you to get the insurance quote at least turned into them as early as possible, so that they can figure their numbers on the disclosures.
Exactly.
So you also, in like the case with a fire score, I mean, you may have to go to a specialty company if it's a high enough fire score that the big companies won't touch it. And a lot of times, if you're going to a specialty means the rate's going to be
Yep,
higher
exactly.
than what you would
and
be
they're
getting for a
specialized
normal
because
thing.
no one else is doing it.
Because nobody wants to deal
Yeah,
with those
it's a
problems.
higher risk versus return.
Correct.
So they got to take more risk, they're charging you more money.
Exactly.
So it's just something that you guys should be on the lookout for. If you have any questions, we'll have Trey's number here. You have any real estate questions, I'd be more than happy to talk to you, but thank you guys for tuning in. So, all right, I'll see you later.
Thank you.